Good day, folks. Welcome to 406 Regen. As you can tell, it rained, so no harvest today. We get a day off out of the truck. We got that elevator job done, and the girls are mad at me because I just didn't get to them last night. I was just so wiped out. Anyway, I was just so wiped out. I got the rams moved and I got the nets picked up, and this storm rolled in on me, and I figured they'd make it through the night without getting moved for new grass. So they're anxiously waiting to get put on new ground, and they will be, but can't hardly breathe. All that grain dust has been sucking in the last couple of days, but it's all right. I got to move the sheep, and then I was told last night when I got home I got a couple of my cows out. They went in the well house coulee down there in barbed wire, and I guess the solution to that was to close the gate and not put them back in electric, but at any rate, I got to deal with that because, matter of fact, I see a couple of them right now. Those, no, don't zoom in on the finger. Those ones right there do not belong there. That one, I do believe, is where it belongs. But anytime you leave things a chance and you got a couple out and one in, it won't be long before they're all out. So I gotta get these sheep moved, get the water moved, go move the cows. And since I got them on that bigger charger, they're gonna go back down below the below the trailer house there. They left some of their feed down there when we moved them. I got so tired of that small charger, I put them back up on the sheep's net charger, and I've since now borrowed another charger from the neighbors to run the sheep in and put the big one on the cows. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this net boxed in and we'll get them moved. Alrighty, folks, went ahead. I have a massive headache, so instead of taking these nets down out here, I just pulled this center one out, left them all hooked up, so then I don't got to move the water or nothing. They can go back and get it. Yeah, so they're moved for now. They'll enjoy their ground. It won't take them long to get it eaten down, but they'll quite enjoy it. So on to the next project. Alrighty, folks, just setting up the cow's pen here before we get them moved down here. This is what they're going into. There's a lot of dead standing because this field hasn't been touched in a couple of years. But I want to show you during the grazing season when they were growing, this whole field looked like this where I was at. Now out here, this is where we've already had the cows earlier, and I had them on that cheaper charger that they decided they weren't going to stay in on. As you can tell, we got all that dead. That's all kind of standing up and in the air over there. It's all pushed down over here for the most part. It's all nice and down the ground. We got looks a lot nicer and filled in really good. So hoping that animal impact on here should help bring it in that much nicer, and it will. But dead standing plants like this grass here, this here is just junk. Your biology isn't going to eat it until it's on the ground, so it needs to get stomped down into the ground to where your biology can eat on it and turn that into a precious resource. So, ooh, massive headache. Anyway, we are at the point now we're just gonna go get the cows and drive them down here, put them back here and put them on that big charger, and they won't get out. I doubt. So, yeah. It's a nice view down here though. Down the bottom, the coulee. So anyway, we're gonna go grab those cows, get them driven down here. Obviously, my bike don't have the mount or nothing on it. I actually think I have one that I could mount something on that bike, on the handlebars there. I'm not set up for that today, so we'll just drive them down here without the camera. Alrighty, folks, got them pushed down here. They did not want to be pushed with the bikes today. I don't know. They were being stubborn, feeling their oats when it was nice and cool after being so hot. They were not being. They want to do what they want to do. But they're here. As you can see, there's feels and smells like it's probably going to rain again today. So they'll get in here and they'll get this done. Eating up, and they've already been down there. This is a pin. There's a wire right there. We're gonna have them finish this up. Then we got some state land coolies and stuff we can put them on out back. But for right now, we're gonna have them clean this up. We got this area down here, this little area up here to the base of the hills, and then that'll be that for the cows. The sheep are almost out of feed on this side of the farm and where they're at. So I reckon by the end of August everything will be out back, which is gonna be good. So anyhow, alrighty, folks, got all the animals taken care of for the day. It's been raining on and off, and it's kind of taking it easy after the last couple days, but said I'd work on this truck tonight, so that's what we're gonna do. Gotta make sure I got all the parts yet. The transmission stopped working on this truck, is why we have it. I don't own it, just working on it for a friend. The story goes, she's driving it one day, the next day it stopped. So these Dodges this year, it's an 06, I believe, with the Hemi in it, they had problems. The first one, which is not really a mechanical problem, it's just the filter in the transmission, the O-ring, will get loose, and then it'll just fall down and make you lose oil pressure. So then you won't have no transmission pressure going through the line. So therefore you have no gears. Check that. Pulled the pan, got the filters. I'm going to be installing the filters, but there's nothing. It wasn't hanging down low. It wasn't nothing like that. Unfortunately, not the quick, easy fix. So I did notice that the torque converter had a leak to it, dripping a little bit, and that was the second issue these had. That the splines in the torque converter would actually just break up, and then it wouldn't free spin. So again, the pump and the torque converter would make no pressure. So that's what we're going to test here tonight. I got to go ahead and put the filters back in the pan, in the transmission pan. I know it's not nothing too major mechanically with the transmission, because there was no heavy metal, no chunks. There's nothing in the pan, and the oil is still nice and clean. So it lost hydraulic pressure. So torque converter leaning towards like 9. It's either torque converter or electrical, but torque converter is what we're gonna check. So how we're gonna check that is, like I said, I got to put the filters back in the transmission, in the pan under there, and put the pan back on, fill it back up with oil, and we'll start the truck up. We'll read the stick, the transmission stick, just like a dipstick on for your oil. We'll get a reading on that and put it back in transmission. We start it up and take another reading. If that oil isn't moving, if it didn't go down, because the pan's drained, so it should go down to where I have to add oil to it to top everything off. If it doesn't go down, it just reads the same as it was reading, then I know it's 100% the torque converter. So that's what we're here checking tonight. Yeah. Anyway, kind of sucks when you just put vehicles down on the ground and where you don't have it mowed, though. I see the grass is nice and tall under it. I actually mowed all this, and did a decent job of regrowing on me. But so it would do me no good just to roll the pickup forward or back, because then you end up on tall alfalfa. So guess we get to crawl down in the grass. Alright everybody, got those filters in, put the pan back on, tightened down, threw in a little bit of oil to where I can get a reading on the stick. Don't know if it's not gonna really show up, but the oil it was about right in there. So of course this thing's been sitting so long that while she put a new battery in it last year, it was sitting at somebody else's shop for long enough that it went flat in the middle of winter during that really, really cold spell. So highly doubt it's a good battery anymore, but should be able to jump it and get this thing started. We'll see if it moves off of that stick or not. Hoping it don't. That way we know it's a torque converter. If it does, then it's probably still got to pull a tranny and go from there. But alrighty folks, we got the oil put in. It did not move on the dipstick, but first time listening to this truck, can't almost hear it now because it's warmed up and we was trying to diagnose it, but it's pretty sure it's got some lifters going out on this motor. So with the lifters going out on the motor and the transmission work, this truck really ain't worth touching. And that's pretty bad when it's only got 116,000 miles on it and it's pretty much a scrap truck. Like I said, it's going away a little bit now, but it was just a rattling. So I'll have to see. Maybe it's worth throwing a torque converter in and telling her to run it until it blows up. It hadn't been started for quite a while. Maybe it took a little bit of while to get the oil all the way through, but it shouldn't have took that long. But now I'm not actually hearing it, so went away when it got warmed up. Kinda. Just slightly down there. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But yeah, so that's not very good news to give her. But I don't know. I'll let her know. So these Hemis were kind of known for that. That's 2006, and the transmission work and then needing the top end work. Yeah, I mean it might make it a while. I don't know. That's they were kind of known for that. People didn't maintain them, or they maintained them to what the factory said, and it was too long. That's why my brother and I bought this truck. Same issue, just further along. This is a 2012. And it's going to be showing up in videos because we're going to clean it up and sell it. And we are going to do the top end work on the motor because it rattles like that, like crazy. And just like that one over there was. So this one here wasn't nearly as loud, as far along gone as this one. This one here is gone. But yeah, we'll see. But now it's getting a little too dark to really record anything, so I reckon that'll be tonight's video.